My teen daughter demanded I buy her the latest iPhone, screaming, "All my friends have one." When I told her she had to earn it, she scoffed and said, "Parents are supposed to give their kids everything." The store clerk laughed as I handed her a flip phone and whispered, "Then you'll love this retro look." Alright, so this happened a few months ago, and I've been waiting to share it because, honestly, I'm still shaking my head at how ridiculous it got. If you've ever dealt with a spoiled teenager, you'll probably understand. If you haven't, well, lucky you. For context, I'm a single dad, 45, living in Chicago, Illinois with my 16-year-old daughter, Sophia. She's a good kid, smart, does well in school, has decent friends. But over the past year or so, she's picked up this entitlement issue that I just can't ignore. I get it, her generation grew up with everything at their fingertips, and social media constantly shoves unrealistic expectations in their faces. But that doesn't mean I'm going to let my kid think she can demand whatever she wants just because everyone else has it. That's exactly what happened the day she decided she needed a brand new iPhone. Everyone has one. We were at Best Buy because I needed a new laptop charger. Sophia tagged along, which was rare, because the only time she wants to run errands with me is when she has an ulterior motive. I should have known. I was in the electronics aisle when she disappeared. A few minutes later, she came back, grinning like she had just discovered gold. "Dad, look. I need this," she said, shoving an iPhone 15 Pro Max in my face. I barely looked up. "You already have a phone." She rolled her eyes. "Yeah, but it's old. All my friends have the new one. I can't be the only one at school with a crappy phone." Now, let's clarify. By crappy, she meant a perfectly functional iPhone 12 that I got her a year ago. The only reason it looks bad is because she treats her belongings like garbage. The screen is cracked in 3 places, the back has a dent, and I'm pretty sure there's dried coffee or soda on the charging port. The one before that? She left it at a Starbucks and never saw it again. Before that? Dropped it in the toilet. This girl goes through phones like they're disposable napkins. So my answer was obvious. No. She blinked. "Wait, what? Why?" "Because you don't need a new phone." Cue instant teenage meltdown. "You're supposed to give me everything." Her face scrunched up like I had just told her Santa wasn't real. "Dad, that's so unfair. Parents are supposed to give their kids everything. That's literally what you're here for." I stared at her. "You think I'm supposed to just hand you everything you want?" She nodded like it was the most obvious thing in the world. At this point, the Best Buy employee nearby was very clearly eavesdropping. He had stopped stacking phone cases and was just standing there, pretending to be busy while listening to the train wreck unfold. "You're my dad. You're supposed to provide for me," she argued. "I do provide for you," I said. "You have food, clothes, a roof over your head, and a perfectly good phone." "But it's embarrassing," she whined. "I'm literally the only one at school with an old phone." "You're not." "I am." I sighed. "So buy one yourself." She laughed. "With what money?" I raised an eyebrow. "Exactly. And that should have been the end of the conversation. I said no, and that was final. But Sophia? She was not giving up that easy. Instead of just accepting the answer like a normal person, she did something I've never seen her do before. She stomped her foot. In the middle of Best Buy. Like a 5-year-old. "Dad. I need it." The store clerk actually chuckled. I saw him cover his mouth to stop himself from laughing. That only made Sophia angrier. "You're being so dramatic," she hissed. I looked at her. "I'm being dramatic?" "Yes. You can afford it. You just don't want to buy it for me." I took a deep breath. I could feel the judgmental stares of the other customers around us. Some parents were watching with that "glad it's not my kid" expression. Others were straight up entertained. I was done. "You're right," I said. She froze. "Wait, really?" "Yeah. I should buy you a phone." Her whole face lit up. "Thank you." Finally. Then, right in front of her, I turned around, walked past the iPhone display, and grabbed a $20 prepaid flip phone from the rack. Her soul left her body. She stared at me, horrified, as I handed it to the cashier. The store clerk lost it. He was laughing so hard he had to turn away. "Dad," Sophia hissed. "What are you doing?" "Buying you a phone." "No. No. That's not funny. I'm not joking, I said. This is the phone I'm getting you. You can't do this. I can, and I am. She refused to touch the bag on the way to the car. She sat there, arms crossed, silent, fuming. When we got home, she grabbed her old iPhone 12, locked herself in her room, and texted her friends about how her cruel father was ruining her life. For the next week, she pretended the flip phone didn't exist. She refused to take it to school. She hid it in the kitchen drawer. But after a few days, her old iPhone finally gave up. Battery? Dead. Screen? Unresponsive. Charging port? Done for. And just like that, she had no choice but to use the flip phone. I saw her try to use it one morning before school, and I swear, she looked like she was holding a brick of shame. That should have been the end of it. But instead, things got worse. For the first couple of days, Sophia tried to act like the flip phone didn't exist. She would leave it at home when she went to school, claiming she forgot it. But I wasn't stupid. I knew she was just too embarrassed to pull it out in public. She tried using her dead iPhone as a prop, pretending like it was still working. That lasted until one of her friends asked why she wasn't responding to texts. Then the truth came out. And, according to Sophia, her life was officially over. People are laughing at me. She stormed into the house after school one day, slamming the door so hard the windows rattled. "This is your fault," she yelled. I looked up from the couch, where I was enjoying my very peaceful, quiet, teen drama-free evening. "Hello to you too," I said. Sophia stomped into the living room and threw herself onto the couch, arms crossed, face red. "Do you have any idea what I went through today?" People laughed at me. They called me Grandma Sophia. Do you know how humiliating that is? I snorted. That's actually kinda funny. Her head snapped toward me, eyes burning. Not funny. I shrugged. Maybe if you took care of your stuff, you wouldn't be stuck with the grandma phone. That set her off. You don't get it. I can't even text normally. It takes 10 years to type anything. Yeah, welcome to 2005. She groaned and flopped backward on the couch like she was about to die from pure shame. Then, in a sudden burst of energy, she sat up. I need a new phone. Now. I raised an eyebrow. And how do you plan to get it? She hesitated. And that's when I saw it, the look. A very specific look that teenagers get when they're about to do something stupid. For the next few days, Sophia stayed quiet. Too quiet. She didn't complain. She didn't whine. She didn't even try to argue about the flip phone anymore. Which meant one thing, she was up to something. And sure enough, I figured out what it was. One night, I was watching TV when I heard whispering coming from the kitchen. It was almost midnight, and Sophia was never up this late. I muted the TV and listened. I just need it for a little while, she whispered. Silence. Then, no, I promise I'll give it back. Just a few weeks. I got up, quietly, and peeked into the kitchen. She was on the flip phone, looking guilty as hell. And then it clicked. She was trying to borrow someone else's iPhone. The next day, I decided to check up on her little plan. And surprise, surprise, she walked into the house with an iPhone in her hand. Not hers. Someone else's. I crossed my arms. Whose phone is that? She froze. Sophia. She sighed dramatically. It's Jessica's. But she said I could borrow it for a little while. I nodded slowly. So, let me get this straight. Instead of dealing with the phone I provided for you, you convinced your friend to hand over a $1,000 device, just so you wouldn't have to deal with social embarrassment. Pretty much. And what's your plan when her parents find out? That hit her like a truck. Her eyes widened. Oh my God. I watched her panic for a solid 10 seconds before she grabbed the phone and ran upstairs to call Jessica. Sure enough, less than an hour later, Jessica's very angry mother called me. She was furious. Apparently, Jessica hadn't asked for permission to lend her phone to Sophia. And when her mom realized it was missing, she lost her mind. I apologized, assured her I'd handle it, and made Sophia give the phone back immediately. She was beyond pissed. You just ruined my life, she snapped at me. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize your life depended on borrowing an expensive device that wasn't yours, I shot back. She stormed upstairs, slammed her door, and refused to talk to me for the rest of the night. The next morning, Sophia was suspiciously nice. She made her own breakfast. Cleaned up the dishes. Even asked if I needed help with anything. And then, like clockwork, she sat down across from me and pulled out her last trick. "Dad," she said sweetly, "I've been thinking, what if we split the cost?" I almost laughed. "You don't have a job." "But I can start saving," she argued. "I'll do chores. Babysit. Help out with errands. Anything." I leaned back. "So let me get this straight. You're willing to work for it now?" She hesitated. But then, reluctantly, she nodded. "Interesting." She narrowed her eyes. "Why do you sound so smug?" "Because," I said, "this is exactly what I wanted in the first place." But it wasn't over yet. For the first time, Sophia actually started looking for ways to make money. She offered to babysit for our neighbor. She washed cars. She even tried to sell her old clothes online. And for a while, it seemed like she was finally learning her lesson. Until something happened that changed everything. And that's when things got worse. For a while, things seemed to be going in the right direction. Sophia was actually working to earn her new phone. She babysat for the neighbor's kids, which I honestly didn't think she'd last a week doing. She cleaned up around the house without me even asking. She even started walking dogs in the neighborhood, which was honestly hilarious because she used to scream at the sight of a big dog. But then something happened that completely derailed everything. And, in typical Sophia fashion, it was all her fault. One afternoon, she came storming into the house, furious. "Someone stole my money," she yelled. I blinked. "What?" She threw her empty wallet onto the table. "It's gone. All of it. Where did you last see it?" She groaned and flopped onto the couch. "I had it at school. I was showing my friends how much I had saved up, and then when I got home, it was gone." I sighed. "Of course. Did you check your backpack?" "Yes." "Your locker?" "Yes." I gave her a look. "So you pulled out a bunch of cash at school, and now it's missing. And you think someone just stole it?" She sat up. "Yes. Dad, I worked hard for that money. This isn't fair." I rubbed my temples. "Sophia, you can't just flash a wad of cash at school and expect nothing to happen. That's like walking around with a sign that says, 'Rob me.'" She threw up her hands. "So what am I supposed to do now? Start all over?" "Pretty much." She screamed into a pillow. The next day, Sophia came home with a wild look in her eyes. "I know who stole it," she announced. "Oh boy." She dropped her bag and started pacing. I was talking to Mia at lunch, and she was acting super weird. Then I saw her pull out cash to buy snacks, and she never has cash. And when I asked her about it, she got all defensive. I sighed. "So you just assume she stole it? Who else would it be?" I shrugged. "Maybe you lost it. Maybe someone else found it. Maybe, Dad." "It was Mia." I sighed. "And what are you gonna do? Walk up to her and demand it back?" "Yes." Before I could stop her, she grabbed her flip phone and stormed out of the house. I thought that was the end of it. I thought she'd talk to Mia, realize she had no proof, and that would be the end of it. I was wrong. 30 minutes later, I got a call. From the school. I groaned and answered. "What did she do?" "Mr. Carter," the school secretary said in a very annoyed tone, "there was an incident between Sophia and another student. We need you to come in." I showed up at the principal's office ready for battle. Sophia was sitting there, arms crossed, glaring at Mia, who looked equally pissed. The principal sighed and rubbed his temples. "Mr. Carter, your daughter confronted Mia in the hallway today. She accused her of stealing money, and when Mia denied it, Sophia." He trailed off. I turned to my daughter. "Sophia, what did you do?" She looked away. Mia answered for her. She grabbed my bag and tried to dump it out in the middle of the hallway. I closed my eyes. "Oh my God." Mia continued. Then she started yelling about how I was a liar and a thief, and when I pushed her away, I shoved her back, Sophia blurted out. The principal sighed. "So yes. There was a physical altercation. Nothing serious, but it's unacceptable behavior." I turned to Sophia, voice dead serious. Where's your proof that Mia stole your money? Silence. Finally, she muttered, I don't have any. I sighed so hard I nearly collapsed. Sophia got a 2-day suspension. And just like that, everything she had saved up was worthless. The babysitting gigs. Gone. The dog walking. Cancelled. Parents weren't too eager to hire a teenager who just got in a fight at school. The worst part? Mia didn't even have the money. Later, Sophia found her missing wallet in the bottom of her gym bag. She had never been more embarrassed. For 2 days, she was completely silent. No complaining, no whining, nothing. She just sulked in her room, probably realizing she had just made her situation 100 times worse. And that's when she made her next big mistake. A week later, I was in the kitchen when I noticed something weird. Sophia's flip phone wasn't charging. Which was odd, because that thing needed charging like once a week. I frowned and knocked on her door. She opened it, looking guilty. Where's your phone? I asked. She hesitated. It's broken. I narrowed my eyes. Oh really? Let me see it. She froze. Sophia. She sighed dramatically and reached into her drawer. But instead of the flip phone, she pulled out an iPhone. I stared at it. Where did you get that? She shifted. I found it. You found it? Yeah. At the park. I crossed my arms. So you just found a brand new iPhone, and instead of turning it in, you decided to keep it? She looked at the floor. It didn't have a passcode. That means no one was using it, right? I almost lost it. That's not how it works. She flinched. I ran a hand down my face. Do you even realize what you just did? That's stealing. Someone probably lost that phone, and instead of doing the right thing, she groaned. Okay, fine. I'll give it back. How? You don't even know who it belongs to. I don't know. Right then, the phone lit up. An incoming call. And on the screen. MOM. Sophia and I both froze. And just like that, things got so much worse. The moment the phone screen lit up with MOM, time froze. Sophia's face turned pale. My stomach dropped. For a few seconds, neither of us moved. Then, before I could react, she declined the call. I lost it. You just stole someone's phone, I snapped. She groaned. I didn't steal it. I found it. And instead of returning it, you kept it and tried to use it as your own. She folded her arms. It didn't even have a passcode. That means whoever had it didn't care that much. I took a deep breath. I was seconds away from yelling. Sophia, do you even hear yourself right now? Someone is calling this phone. Someone wants it back. She hesitated. Okay, but what if it's a scam call? Those happen all the time. I wanted to slam my head into a wall. I held out my hand. Give it to me. Now. She sighed dramatically, but handed it over. I took a deep breath and called the number back. The phone rang once before someone picked up. A woman's voice came through, frantic. Hello. Oh my God, you found my daughter's phone. I looked at Sophia. Her face was pure panic. Yeah, I did. Where can we meet? She rattled off an address, a house not far from us. I told her I'd drop it off, then hung up. I turned to Sophia. We're going to return this. And you're coming with me. She froze. Dad, no. That's so embarrassing. You should have thought about that before keeping a phone that wasn't yours. She opened her mouth, ready to argue. But something in my face must have told her I was done, because she clamped her lips shut. 15 minutes later, we pulled up to a big, expensive-looking house. Before I even rang the doorbell, it flew open. A woman in her late 30s stood there, looking exhausted. And behind her? A girl who looked about Sophia's age. She was glaring. That's my phone, the girl snapped the second she saw it. I held it out. Here. We found it at the park. The mom sighed in relief. Thank you so much. We thought it was stolen. Then she looked at Sophia. Did you find it? Sophia shrank behind me. She did, I answered for her. The other girl scoffed. Yeah, I bet she found it. My stomach tightened. I looked at Sophia. You didn't take it, did you? She flinched. The girl's glare intensified. It didn't just get lost. I left it on the park bench while I was grabbing my little brother from the swings. When I came back, it was gone. My blood went cold. I turned to Sophia, who was now staring at the ground. Sophia, I said slowly. Did you take it from the bench? Silence. The girl scoffed. She totally did. The mom sighed. Listen, I'm just glad we got it back. But seriously, why didn't you turn it in? Sophia mumbled something. What? I asked. She sighed. Because I needed a phone. The girl's face twisted in disgust. So you just took mine. I felt sick. Sophia's face was turning red, her hands clenched at her sides. It wasn't like that. It didn't even have a passcode. If it was so important, you should have locked it. The girl's jaw dropped. Are you kidding me? I snapped. Sophia, that is not how the world works. You can't just take things because someone else didn't lock them up. That's stealing. She turned to me, furious. Why are you taking her side? Because she's right. Sophia stormed off to the car. The other mom gave me a sympathetic look. I sighed. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. The girl scoffed. Of course she's the flip phone girl. I frowned. What? The mom sighed. Apparently, the whole school knows about Sophia's flip phone situation. My stomach sank. Sophia wasn't just embarrassed. She was a joke. I nodded awkwardly, then left. The car ride home was silent. Until we pulled into the driveway. Then Sophia exploded. I hate you, she screamed. I parked, took a deep breath, and turned to her. Sophia. You stole someone's phone. She snapped. Because you humiliated me. I stared. She wiped her face, furious tears spilling down her cheeks. You don't get it, she hissed. You made me look like an idiot. You gave me that stupid flip phone, and now everyone thinks I'm a loser. The teachers laugh at me, Dad. The other kids call me Grandma Sophia. Even the lunch lady makes fun of me. I blinked. The lunch lady? She threw her hands up. She asked me if I needed reading glasses to see the tiny screen. She looked away, shaking with frustration. I sighed. I get that you're embarrassed, but, no, you don't, she snapped. You grew up poor. You don't care about this stuff. But I do. I clenched my jaw. I care about this stuff because I had to earn everything I had. And I was trying to teach you the same thing. She scoffed. Oh yeah? And what exactly did I learn? I looked at her, dead serious. You learned that when things don't go your way, you make it worse for yourself. She froze. You could have saved up. You could have worked for it. Instead, you threw a tantrum, started a fight, lost your job, and stole a phone. So now you have nothing. She went completely silent. For the first time in weeks, she had no comeback. She just got out of the car and went inside. For days, things were tense. Sophia didn't speak to me. She avoided eye contact, didn't slam doors, didn't argue. But then, something changed. She started accepting chores again. She started saving up, quietly. And one day, she came home and told me she had a new job. She never apologized. Not directly. But one night, I found her flip phone on the kitchen counter. And next to it, a note. I'll take care of the next one. Raising kids is hard. You try to teach them lessons, and sometimes they fight back so hard you wonder if they'll ever get it. But deep down, they hear you. Sophia isn't perfect. But maybe, just maybe, she's starting to understand what it means to earn something. And honestly, that's worth more than any iPhone.